All right. What is up, everybody? We made it to Turkey Week, week 12 of the NFL. I can't believe we're here. Week 11 was really bad for me, uh, and for Pikadilyy. Not so bad for Drizzle. He crushed us, as you'll see when we reconcile here. Um, Pikadilyy is on vacation, being a slacker, not showing up for the show. So he has pre-populated his picks and is apparently willing to fill them out while we talk, which is cool. So he'll be in the spreadsheet. So he'll be here virtually and just not talking about all his picks and whatnot. So be in them sheets, all up in them sheets. So we are going to get going here. And transition over to the sheet and start talking about them games. Let's see if Drizzle is ready. Hello, Mr. Drizzle.
Oh,
Hello.
I am here,
Welcome.
and I'm ready to talk shit.
I'm sure you are. You get your chance here. Since you had quite the week. Let me get that pulled up here. All right, let's look at week 11. There's a lot of red. There's a lot of red on that sheet for me. I'm not too thrilled about that.
It is not on the stream yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to transition that over. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a lot of red on that sheet for me. I got absolutely pummeled. Yeah, Derek's not here to defend himself, so we will definitely talk all the shit about all of his picks, I'm sure.
Even though he did slightly better than you by one game.
He did. He edged me out by one game. I still, without the lock of the week picks, have a slight edge over him. I'm still up 2 games on him, down 2 games on you, but down 3 games on to you now because you basically made up 2 picks with that Minnesota prediction, which was
You like that?
very, very good on your part. Very impressive. So yeah, I went 7-8. I had a absolutely dog shit disaster afternoon and evening game. I think I got this is Derek's redemption week. He feels it. That might just be gas from the potential turkey tomorrow, though.
Yeah. That's how I felt about going into this last week. Was I needed a good week.
Yeah,
I needed a good week.
I think I may have gotten a little too cute with some of my picks, and
Which ones?
just the whole afternoon. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some tight lines there, but I think looking back, just like, Pittsburgh almost won that game. Dallas was never in it. Seattle, I don't know why I continue to trust Russ at this point. Cincy, I guess, made sense. Vegas is kind of a disaster. And then, the Green Bay Minnesota game was close, so that could have gone either way. Obviously, nobody saw Tennessee going the way that went, even though we did talk about how they're losing soon. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. We just didn't realize it was going to be to Houston.
Right. I just really thought it was going to be this week. So I did not see the story about the coin and the Raiders subreddit. I will have to look that up after this. And then looking back at someone has predicted every single game with a coin flip. That's insanity.
Wow.
I mean, I guess
that is insane.
I guess you have a 50-50 shot, right? But yeah, I guess like the Indy Buffalo game, like if you look back at the playoff game, like Indy probably should have won that game. So I guess it makes sense that they played them tough. I just, I didn't think going into Buffalo they would do what they did, and maybe Buffalo's defense isn't elite like we thought. Maybe it's
yeah.
It's
Indianapolis's run game is, man, they are just gashing people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
man, going into this week, it's going to be a tough pick for that game because they're playing Tampa Bay. But I don't know if Buffalo not as good as we thought, like you said. Same with Tennessee. I don't know. We'll see.
I will answer the Tennessee question. They are not as good as their record.
Okay.
But I mean, I think that's probably injury related more than anything. But there's just a lack of talent there now.
Yeah.
With no Derrick Henry, and that's, they have AJ Brown, but he's been banged up all year. So,
And we haven't seen anything from Julio Jones either. I think he's a shell of himself, though, to be honest with you.
he can't get healthy.
Yeah.
It's just like, you got sometimes the best talent or the best like skill is just being available. Right?
Yeah.
You're not available for these games, so does it really matter how good you are?
No, exactly. You'd have all the talent in the world, you could be the best player, but if you can't play, it doesn't matter. That's just as simple as that.
Yep. So yeah, it was a weird week. I mean, not a weird week for you with that 12-3. So hopefully,
man, just think about it though. If Buffalo and Tennessee won, man,
it would be sitting pretty.
That would have been insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So if anybody is betting this week, follow Drizzle's picks. Don't follow Pikadily's or mine because they're clearly trash.
But with that said, these games this week are like can be a toss-up.
He's the Messiah.
I mean, just look at the picture.
Yeah, look at the picture and just follow everything that he says.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Lead you to the promised land.
Yeah, do the opposite of my picks, and you'll win literally one more game than I picked if you do the opposite. So, it really won't make much of a difference if you did the opposite of what I did this past week. All right, you ready to get into it?
I am ready as I'll ever be.
All right, week 12 picks underway, and we'll let you kick it off with really just a banger to start Thanksgiving, clearly, with Chicago and Detroit.
So as a Bears fan, they are making it very, very hard to want to still be a Bears fan. I'll tell you what. There was a report that leaked at the beginning of the week about Nagy being fired on Friday after the game on Thursday. Then today, McCaskey George comes out and talks to the team on week 12, saying that's not accurate. We're not firing Nagy. What is going on? What is going on? Because you fired Lovie Smith after going 10-6. This guy's lost 2 years in a row, 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
And his offense is probably on par with Lovie's when he was here. So what would you take? Who would you take? I think I would take Lovie just because the defense always showed up. Even if they weren't too good, they always showed up.
Yep.
Man, it's just been a rough go as a Bears fan. Starting to feel maybe like a Detroit Lions fan or even maybe a Giants fan.
Come over. I mean, the problems are very much the same, so I don't know if you want to come over and be a Giants fan with me, but you do you, right?
Yeah. With all that said, it's a clusterfuck over there.
The Niners are streaking.
Yeah. And getting to the pick, I think Detroit wins. Maybe last second field goal, but I just don't think the Bears will show up, play for Nagy, or even, I mean, there's a lot of people out too, so I just think this is where Detroit gets their win.
All right, not being a homer, taking Detroit with his pick. That is very interesting. Derek, if you're following along, you can pop yours in, and we'll talk about it after I talk about mine here. So he is also going Detroit. Wow, that is interesting. I am of the opposite mind here. I think that Andy Dalton is competent enough, and we still don't know if Goff is going to play or what. I'm assuming he is. I don't really think that makes much of a difference to me. I think that if this truly is Nagy's like last fling, I think he's gonna go out with like a chip on his shoulder, try to make a case for his job somewhere else, some offensive coordinator job elsewhere. And I think that Detroit is bad enough that Montgomery can probably carry the Bears on his back. And I also I like the under in this game. I think neither team can score. Also the under because every game that Chicago has won except for one has gone, or I'm sorry, every game that they have won this year has been under the total. So I believe that the Bears are just the better overall team still, even with all the coaching issues. So I don't think Detroit gets...
That might be true, but I think Detroit's just playing a little bit better. Like they're playing hard, you know? Like
yeah.
It seems like the Bears are just kind of there. Just there. Just there.
Derek, you know? For the... No, I will not be taking the Bears for my lock. And I don't think either of you guys should take Detroit for your locks, but I mean, maybe that's what you want to do. I'm not sure. All right, moving on to the next game. We're starting 5 subs if you take the Bears. Well, we'll see. That I can be motivated by money. Vegas going to Dallas. Dallas giving 7.5. They are coming off of a really poor showing against KC. Vegas is kind of a disaster. They looked really bad against Cincy at home too, which is never great. This game actually ended up being tougher for me than I thought it was going to be to pick. I actually, with all the injuries, I know CD may play, but like I just don't know. There's very few cases of a guy turning around a concussion on a Sunday in time for a Thursday. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember it happening. So I have a hard time believing he's going to play. And then that leaves a 2 weeks removed from IR Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson as the top receiving options, and Zeke, who's banged up. And obviously they have Tony Pollard, but Zeke's banged up as well. So I really had a hard time. I'm still going to go Dallas here. But I could definitely see a world in which Vegas wins. And I also like the under a lot in this game because I don't know where a lot of points are going to come from here unless it's all just Dak or they turn Vegas over 3 times and return 2 for touchdowns or something.
I'm glad you left off there for me because Las Vegas is -4 in a turnover ratio in their last or during their losing streak. So even if with all Zeke being hurt, maybe not playing, Cooper and Lamb probably not playing either. Las Vegas they're bad. Like they're just not any good. Their defense is falling apart.
Yeah.
So I think that Dallas's defense is better and enough and turns Derek Carr over. So I'm going to take Dallas.
I figured. I think that's probably the safe pick. But again, I wouldn't be surprised. Dallas they outside of that game against Denver, they have not looked great. I saw Derek's pick. He had put Dallas in there as well. He says they're 31-21 in Thanksgiving games. So that maybe they don't let Jerry down. Jerry gets his happy Thanksgiving. But we shall see. I think on the money line right now, Vegas is like plus 270. So it's probably worth sprinkling a little bit of money line on Vegas just on the off chance that they do win, just because that's a pretty good payout for a team on the money line. So something to think about. Detroit is 32-41 on Thanksgiving. I mean, they're terrible. So they've been terrible. Why they keep
playing
how
on
long?
Thanksgiving. Like why do they keep playing? Why do they keep giving them national television?
because we want to see banged up Jared Goff and Andy Dalton go at it.
Most people forget that it's on because it starts at 11:30, not noon like usual.
Yeah, a little early. Well, at least you miss half the game, like on
Yeah.
accident, so you won't be as disgusted for like an extra half hour of your day.
Yeah.
All right, Buffalo going to New Orleans.
All right. So this, I think, earlier in the year would have been a circle me game for like fans, like Buffalo and New Orleans, two good teams. Probably top of their divisions in both conferences. But Jameis Winston's out for the year, so New Orleans is going with Trevor Siemian, who hasn't really done anything. He doesn't look bad, but he's just, he's not, he's an average quarterback. Then talking about Buffalo, their defense hasn't been very good this year, and Josh Allen has not helped. With that said, Buffalo and Josh Allen show up on national televised games.
Yeah, I remember
So
a couple years ago when they went into Dallas
yeah,
on Thanksgiving.
And I just blew them out.
Yep.
Just blew them out. I think it'll be a closer game than people expect, but I'm gonna take Buffalo. I don't think New Orleans can handle it, especially with Kamara and Ingram probably out for this game. Still battling a knee injury, both of them. So
yep.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
I see Derek is also picking Buffalo. I don't really have much else to add. I think Buffalo bounces back big here after really just getting just absolutely embarrassed. So I think they're going to come out and want to prove that they are a Super Bowl contender. You just traded Knox, so he's going to get 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, most likely, Derek, that's probably what's going to happen now, which helps them win by 6. So, but yeah, with the news today breaking that Kamara's not playing and Ingram's banged up, I think Tony Jones is back. So he may be your starting running back. But yeah, I don't know how New Orleans, even though they were competitive, more competitive, I guess, than a lot of people expected the last couple games. I mean, they've put up 21 plus their last 3. And they put up 36 on Tampa a few weeks ago. But I don't think that they have the firepower to compete. I think the Bills get right. I think Josh Allen wants to get back on track, and I think Buffalo goes into New Orleans and gets a W. Plus, they don't have to deal with that cold Buffalo weather, so they get to play in that dome, be nice and cozy. It'll be great.
So before we get to the next game, there was a bit of breaking news.
Oh, yeah?
Going back to the first game on our slate and for tomorrow morning, Jared Goff will start.
Okay, that does not change anything for me. I still think the Bears win.
I think he's gonna have a good game. I think he's just gonna torch us. I don't know why. I hope. I don't know. I think I'm done with like this regime. So
yeah, are you hoping they get torched just so it's just like one more like kick to Nagy?
Well, exactly. Like, especially after the 2 reports that came out.
Genetic freak.
Like the 2 reports that came out about, well, he's gonna get fired, and now, well, he's not. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Oh,
like,
they're
you guys
a bunch
are just
of
making it worse.
They're a bunch of Muppets over there.
Yeah, they don't know what to do.
Yeah,
and that's why they're a laughing stock.
Yeah. Kamara's out. I saw that. All right.
But I just wanted to give that little breaking news. So
no, I like that. I saw that it was like possible and he was trending in the right direction. So, all right. Tennessee visiting New England. I think 5 weeks ago we would have thought that this line would be Tennessee giving 6.5 to New England, but these are 2 teams on completely opposite trajectories at the moment. Tennessee we talked about last week how they were bound to lose, that they were kind of pretenders at 8-2, and kind of circled this game for the game that they would lose and look bad. And ham is better than turkey. We can discuss at the end.
Okay.
But they looked awful against Houston. I know the weather was shitty, but they just have no talent. AJ Brown, even if he does play, is not 100%. No Julio. They cut AP, not that he was doing much. And they just don't look good. Their defense is still decent. But New England, I mean, Bill Belichick's got those guys playing really well right now. So I think Mac Jones, they have a plan around what they want to do with him. And again, it really pains me to make Patriots picks just because I fucking hate Boston. But I think New England gets a pretty easy victory here. They can control the clock with that. Excuse me, I have the hiccups with that ground game that they've got. And yeah, I think that's a pretty easy victory for New England. I see Derek also picked New England.
Yeah, I think New England is playing well. Belichick, like I've mentioned 2 weeks ago, he has him playing well, and then that's the biggest thing. Coaching goes a long way, and you don't. A lot of people don't think so, but you see the better coach teams. Well, they're playing well. The worst coach teams are not.
Right.
And this is New England. The last 2 games, their home games, they've been giving up 10 points per game on defense. So, and without AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, I don't see where they get the points. Tannehill is a shell of himself. Back to Miami Tannehill.
I saw a meme of him like an Animorph turning into Miami Tannehill. So, yeah. I mean, I will say this for, oh my God, that's a big New England.
I didn't do that.
That is a massive New England. What is going on?
Who did that?
Probably Derek. Yeah, I see his thing moving.
Oh my God.
Derek, I can't mute my Discord notifications without fucking up my camera because of stupid window capture, so it's just gonna have to ding in my ear for the time being. I will say this about the Patriots. They have obviously been on a roll, but I mean, in their last 5, in their last 6, who have they really played? I mean, they beat Atlanta. They beat a banged up Browns team. They beat Carolina. They beat the Jets. They beat the Texans. Like, the best team that they've played, or the best 2 teams that they've played, are Dallas and LA, the Chargers. So, like, they look great, and you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. But
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you can only play the people on your schedule, right? But it's not like they're a great team, and I think Tennessee, obviously, like we talked about, is pretty bad at this point. But I think, like, they go to Buffalo the week following, they go to Indy, they play Buffalo at home in the next 3 after this week, and then they close with Jacksonville and Miami. So, which Miami always gives them fits in Miami, but that was when Brady was there, so we'll see. But yeah, I think the Patriots are primed for a pretty easy victory here. All that said, okay.
I agree. And now we get to talk about a terrible matchup. It might even be worse than Chicago versus Detroit.
Yeah, I think this one's you. Unfortunately, you get to intro this one.
A flip flop doesn't work out in my favor this time. But the Jets at Houston. The Houston is coming off a big win. I don't know how well they can string it together, because they're a bad football team. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet. It could really go either way, but since it's at Houston and they're coming off that big win, I'm going to go with Houston here.
Yep, I like that short and sweet analysis. Yeah, Zach Wilson starting for the Jets. probably means worse things for the Jets at this point. I really don't see them, and Michael Carter's out, so I really don't see them being able to move the ball much. I could definitely see a world in which Houston actually blows them out pretty handily. And yeah, I have no faith that the Jets can get a win here. So we are all in sync and picking Houston. That's pretty easy. We won't spend too much time on that one.
Good, because we have a couple games that could. There's more talking points. Let's just say that.
All right, the fucking Eagles visiting my Giants. Philly giving 3.5 as a home favorite or a road favorite. The Giants, by some miracle that is associated with Thanksgiving, have fired Jason Garrett. Oh my God, I can't believe it happened. Finally, we spent 26 games with him, and that was 26 games too many. Derek just early firing off of birds. Go Birds. Saquon did not look healthy on Monday night. Obviously, they're coming off the short week. I want to pick the Giants and more so take the points if I was betting the spread, just because they're a home divisional dog. But Freddie Kitchens is going to be calling plays, and before he got that Browns job, he looked pretty good. So I unfortunately will be picking the Birds and picking Philly because it's the safe, smart thing to do. But
so do you think they're gonna finally cook in the offensive kitchen? Haha, see what I did there?
Jesus,
it was terrible, but
that was awful. That was absolutely awful.
I've been probably a bit higher on Philly than you have. As of late, they've been playing well. They've been running the ball a lot better, and Jalen Hurts is starting to look like a pretty decent quarterback. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but Devontae Smith is looking really good, and Goddard is playing well as the number one tight end after they got rid of Ertz. But yeah, I don't see the Giants pulling it off here. I mean, they're just like a lot of teams this year. They aren't very good. So we're just gonna go with the Birds.
Go Birds. All right, you get a fun one to talk about here. Tampa going into Indy, giving 3.
Yeah, so in Indianapolis, Indianapolis has been playing a lot better. Their run game, like I mentioned earlier, is probably the best in the league. And Wentz isn't, losing them games. On the flip side, Tampa Bay's defense is still banged up, but they did have a get-right-me game against the Giants.
That's everybody who plays the Giants, though.
Yeah. But Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Their offense is pretty good. I mean, Mike Evans is a monster. And their run game is decent. So Leonard Fournette's having a decent year. It's a tough pick, though, for me. Indianapolis went into Buffalo and got a massive win. I think this comes down to Tampa Bay's defense versus Indianapolis's offensive line. If Indianapolis can run the ball like half as good as they've been, I think Indianapolis pulls it off and gets the win. But if they can't run the ball, I don't think Wentz can pull out the win. With that said, I think Indianapolis has hit a stride, and I'm going to pick Indianapolis here.
I like how you just talked about how you weren't going to pick Indy and then decide to pick Indy. For the shoe. For the shoe.
Look, and also it's in Indianapolis. That's kind of hard to say, in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
If it was in Tampa Bay, I'd probably lean towards Tampa Bay, but since it's a road game.
Yeah. I see Derek picked Tampa. This is a hard one. This might be the hardest game on this slate. to be honest.
Mhm.
I think you broke it down pretty much how I was going to. I mean, Carson Wentz has been serviceable the last 2 games. He hasn't really had to do much. I just punched my mic. Sorry, everybody.
Ow,
But
my ears.
he hasn't had to do much because Jonathan Taylor is just a literal just wrecking ball machine. So I am also going to side with you, Bryce. I think that win over Buffalo kind of solidified to the Colts that they're contenders, like legitimate. And I think with Tennessee looking the way that they look, it's more a must-win game for Indy than it is for Tampa because there's no one really pushing Tampa in the South. And I know you don't want to bet against touchdown Tom, but
Touchdown, Tom.
I think that they smell blood in the water in that division, and they're 6-5, and with another, I obviously don't. We all don't think that Tennessee wins, so I think Indy's going to get up for this game, and that is why I'm also going with Indy. I feel like we never agree when it's like split like this. This is like one of the first ones we've agreed on, Bryce.
Yeah, me and you. Yeah, usually it's opposite. Yeah.
All right. Next game. I don't even want to really talk about this game, but Atlanta going to Jacksonville. This started as a pick'em. Derek had started filling this sheet out earlier this week, and this line has moved actually all the way to Atlanta -2.5. Which is more kind of where I thought it would be. I know they're obviously still without Calvin Ridley, and I still just think overall Atlanta is just a much better team than Jacksonville.
That's not saying much because they're not a very good team anyway.
Right. That's like pee-wee football playing pee-wee football. So I just don't trust Urban Meyer. They don't know how to use the pieces that they do have. Like you had Jamal Agnew who goes down, and you should have been using Laviska Shenault in the role that you were using Jamal Agnew in. And I don't trust Urban Meyer can make good decisions. So I think Kyle Pitts has a field day. Obviously, the Patriots schemed for him and shut him down because that's what Belichick does. But I don't think Urban Meyer is the same football mind as Bill Belichick. So I think Kyle Pitts is going to just go nuts on them, and Matt Ryan bounces back and looks pretty decent here. So I will be taking the other birds, Atlanta.
Yeah, the other birds. Just a quick note: Jacksonville hasn't scored more than 19 points at home this year, and
It's pathetic.
Even if they do, I don't think Jacksonville wins. Urban Meyer is a college coach at best because he can cheat. Yeah, I said it, but Atlanta with the win here.
All right, all three Atlanta. Derek also picking Atlanta this week. I think that'll probably be the one that ends up burning us too, because
For sure.
It's just such a terrible game. Like I don't even want to have to pick it. But all right, on to another not so great game. Carolina visiting Miami. Carolina giving 2.
So this is a harder game to pick for me. I thought Carolina would win last week, and I thought they'd show that they're a better team. But even with Cam having a decent game, just their defense wasn't able to help them out. Miami's been playing better. Their defense has looked good. They have allowed 12 points per game through their 3 straight victories. And I think this continues in Miami, and I think Miami, I think it's actually going to be a pretty easy game, and I think they win.
You are going Miami. All right. I mostly agree. I obviously Miami's been kind of riding high after they had that down like stretch in the middle where they lost like 7 in a row. Um, After starting the season beating New England, then they lost 7 and now they've won 3. So, I mean, good on them for kind of turning it around and righting the ship and whatnot. I think that Tua has been obviously better than Jacoby Brissett. Um, but I think now week 2 of Cam starting, I don't think Miami really has an answer for McCaffrey. I think that Cam somehow makes Robbie Anderson like usable in fantasy and like an actual good football asset. So Alex, mute your shit. I think that Cam ends up being able to run, and I think that Carolina actually goes into Miami here and just keeps it on the ground, keeps it simple, and comes out with a W. It looks like Derek agrees with me as well. That makes me nervous.
Can I ask one thing? Does anybody else get like feel pain when Cam Newton tries and throws to throw the ball? Like it just hurts me inside, hurts my soul.
Oh, it does not look good. That is 100% correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
like, it just doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, I think I've talked. Derek made a good point about the Panthers being second in pressure rate, and the Miami offensive line is absolutely god awful. I also have talked about how Carolina's defense is overrated, but I don't think Miami has the weapons. Like they signed Philip Lindsay. Like they have no run game to speak of, and their whole pass game is going through Gesicki and Waddle. So I am on Carolina's side here.
Whatever happened to Devontae Parker? Like
He can't stay healthy.
How has he been hurt?
Yeah, soft tissue injury to start the year, and he just hasn't been able to get right here. So
makes sense.
All right. Pittsburgh going to Cincinnati after I hard slandered Cincinnati last week. And I got burned. I really thought that Vegas at home would be much better than they were, and clearly I was wrong. And Cincinnati looked pretty good. I thought that Pittsburgh looked really good against the Chargers. Big Ben looked a lot better than I thought that he was going to. They should have won that game. But here's where I'm at. So Cincy getting 4.5, from a betting standpoint, I would be hammering Pittsburgh getting 4.5. And I don't think we're at a point with Cincinnati. Their offense still doesn't look great. Like it doesn't really pass the eye test at times. Like, it kind of looks janky. And a lot of it's on the back of big plays through Jamar Chase. And I don't think we're at a point with Cincinnati where we can say that they are the better team than Pittsburgh, especially in November. And this is the type of game that Mike Tomlin loves to get up for, you know? Like they just lost a close game on the road, probably should have won that game. They're dogs, and he loves that narrative of, you know, that they're being disrespected. So I think Pittsburgh goes into Cincy and gets a big win.
You say that they get up for big games. Well, you would think they would get up on Sunday night.
Yeah, it's the Chargers.
Well, I mean, Chargers are technically better than them, but
technically, I suppose.
Anyway, I think this boils down to defensively for Pitt. If Watt, Fitzpatrick, and Hayden can go, I think Pitt can win the game. And obviously, we don't know right now.
I think they're all trending towards playing the last that I saw.
But I don't think Pittsburgh's a very good team. I think Cincinnati is better. So I'm going to be the dissenter here and take Cincinnati.
And Derek also took Pitt. Said last time since he swept Pitt was 2009. See, that's my point. Like, I just don't.
And it's
I
going to
don't.
happen in 2021.
It could. It very well could. But I think that after because they did thrash them a little bit earlier in the year, and they talked a lot of trash. So I bet that trash talk's going to be on the wall in the Pittsburgh locker room, and especially if all three of those guys play. That's kind of where I'm leaning, seeing that they're trending in the right direction. And yeah, Big Ben seems to just get better the more his body takes damage. He's like a Pokemon. Like, it's kind of weird.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
All right. Next game we have the Chargers going to Denver. Chargers, I forgot to highlight this one. Giving 2.5 road favorites.
So the Broncos, ever since the Chargers relocated, are 5-3 against them. Denver against the Chargers. But with that said, Justin Herbert is 3-1 with a 100.6 quarterback rating on the road this season, and I don't think. I mean, Denver, man, they're just. It is in Denver. I just don't think they're very good. I know they had that big upset against Dallas, but then they came back the following week and lost to Philly. They got blown out.
Yep.
So I think the Chargers win and put two good road wins or wins back to back after beating the Steelers on Sunday night.
All right, so you are going Bolts. Looks like Derek is also going Bolts. I really hate this game. I don't really want to bet the line. I don't really want to pick it because I could see this game playing out basically every which possible way it could play out.
Just pick the better uniforms. There you go.
It depends on which uniforms Denver's wearing. Is it the D with the horse? Because in that case, then that falls to the Broncos for me.
No, I think either. Well, I mean that's your opinion, but I think the Chargers uniforms are just. I think they're the best in the league.
I know you love the powder blues. I know.
The
yellow
pants,
I know.
The yellow pants are chef's kiss.
I could definitely see this game, the Chargers going into Denver and just coming out flat. And Denver's off the bye, so they're going to be fresher. I still don't trust Denver, so I will also be taking the Chargers and really feeling terrible about it because I think obviously we've seen the last couple weeks you can run on the Chargers, so there is a good chance that Denver between Gordon and Williams can actually, control the clock and keep that offense off the field and win in like a really low scoring close game. But I think that this might come down to like whoever has the ball last type deal, and I'll just follow Vegas on this and take the Chargers. All right. Yeah, in the battle for the most average NFL teams, Minnesota visiting San Fran giving 3. Is this one mine? Yeah, this one's mine. Yeah, so Minnesota looked really good, and I was very surprised that they hung 34 on Green Bay. But they have been like this. They've played some of the closest games when they lose, and even when they win, they're like kind of nail biters. And then you've got San Fran, who is just absolutely, they look really good. They're rolling right now. The last 2 games, their defense has been playing a lot better. But they also have been really bad at home. They're 1-4 at home, which is weird. So I think that if Kirk Cousins is right, which he has been right most of this year, I saw he's got like a 21-2 touchdown to interception ratio this year, which is absolutely crazy. The you've won 3 of your last 4, and one of those wins was against the Bears, Derek. I wouldn't exactly call that streaking. And you just beat Jacksonville, and probably should have beat them by more. I don't know if they have an answer for the offense for Minnesota. I think this game goes way over that 48. And I think that the Vikings win in a shootout here.
So this is a big game for both teams, Minnesota and San Fran. Whoever loses is probably on the outside looking in for the playoffs. I know there's 7 games left for both teams, but you win, you're probably in a better position. You can have a setback. If you lose, you probably have to win out for the most part.
Yeah.
The Vikings, to your point, have played in 6 games decided by 4 points or less. That's more than half their games. That's insane.
That really is.
Their defense is getting healthier, and I think San Fran's streaking is over. Sorry, Derek. Going Minnesota.
I like it. It's not even a streak. Like, don't bet with this man and his homerism. It's not a streak when you've beaten Jacksonville and the Bears as part of that streak, and you lost to a Colt McCoy-led Arizona Cardinals.
Not just lost. Got absolutely decimated.
It lost 31-17 to Colt McCoy. Like, and twice you've lost. I mean, I guess one had Kyler, but just, it's not a streak. It's definitely not a streak. There's no streaking going on. This isn't Will Ferrell and old school. We're not going streaking. The streak comes to an end and you're going to the police station. That's what's happening here.
Oh, man. All right. So moving on.
So is this one mine or yours?
This is mine.
Okay, before you start, this line opened at Green Bay -1 and has since moved to the Rams -1.
For good reason.
Yeah.
So the Packers lost another offensive lineman. Don't know for how long, but he's definitely going to be out this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aaron Rodgers has his COVID toe because he won't get the vaccine because he's an idiot.
Yeah, and then your toes fall off. That's scientifically factual.
Yeah, which doesn't sound fun at all.
No, I don't want my toes falling off.
So, that's just hilarious to me. Oh my god! All right,
Derek
the Rams
taking the Rams.
The Rams are coming off a bye. I just think the Rams need a win badly. This is for probably playoff positioning at the top of the NFC. It's a tough game because Green Bay's always in these games. Again, it doesn't matter who, usually pull them out. So I'm lucky I got Minnesota last week. Though I think I'm going to pick against them again 2 weeks in a row, and I'm going with the Rams.
All right, Rams for Drizzle. I think you kind of nailed it on the head. They're still without David Bakhtiari. And then I'm blanking on the name of the other offensive lineman on their left side.
Elgton Jenkins.
There you go. So that left side now is weaker, obviously. And then, I mean, AJ Dillon is filled in. I don't think there's that much of a drop off, like from the running back standpoint, from Aaron Jones to AJ Dillon, but I don't know what other receiver beats them besides Devontae Adams, and Jalen Ramsey will probably shadow him. So the Packers need MVS or Alan Lazard to basically coin flip and catch a long ball. Like we saw MVS catch that 80-yarder last week, but how many times has he dropped those? So
more times than he's caught him. I'll tell you that.
Right. So I think with the bye week, OBJ is another week integrated into this offense. Even though you generally don't see receivers who are traded mid-season really do much for the team that they're traded to. I think he at least warrants attention, which is kind of what you're looking for. The Packers are still banged up on the back end. So, yeah, Kupp probably drops 6. Maybe he'll have the Jonathan Taylor week this week, and it'll be all Kupp. But, yeah, I don't see the Rams or the Packers really pulling this one out. I think the Rams have something to prove here, and they're going to probably look better than they have their last 2 games. The fluky Tennessee game, and then the trouncing that the 49ers gave them. I think the bye week will do them a lot of good here. So I am in agreement with everybody. Rams. Okay. On to the Sunday night game. Cleveland going to Baltimore. Baltimore giving 3.5. Should have a non-COVID sick, flu sick, something. Lamar Jackson back. Baker is still extremely banged up. But Baltimore should also have Hollywood Brown back for this game. I think they are able to do enough to stop Nick Chubb. I've been on Cleveland a couple times this year in some interesting spots, like against the Bengals, and then I think we all picked them against the Lions last week, and they barely squeaked by. They barely squeaked by the Lions. So, yeah, Hollywood's still questionable, but I think he's trending towards playing. Looks like Derek is taking the Ravens here, but they actually have an odd schedule. So Cleveland goes to Baltimore, then has their bye, then Baltimore goes to Cleveland. So it's almost like a home and home. And I could definitely see these teams splitting if Baker gets healthy and that defense, depending on how they show out here. But I think that with a healthy Lamar, I think that the Ravens just will end up being a little too much at home for Cleveland.
Yeah, this is a game to take control of the division. Cleveland wins, they're back in it. I think they'll be one game out if they do win. But if Baltimore wins, they put distance between them and Cincinnati and Cleveland. But with that said, I think if Lamar plays, they're going to have it's their best run game. I guess 1-2 with them in Indianapolis for their run game, but I don't think with a banged up Baker Mayfield that Cleveland can do it, especially in Baltimore Sunday night. So I'm going to take Baltimore as well.
Another bird. We're all about the birds here. All right, let's see if we're still all about the birds for this one. Seattle going to Washington. Washington giving 1.
I will answer that question very quickly. No, we're not all about the birds.
We're not all about the birds here.
Seattle has been playing poorly for weeks when Russell went out. And now that when he's come back, they haven't played any better. They look like a shell of themselves. Washington is 4-1 when they turn the ball over, or less than 2 turnovers per game. So if they can not turn the ball over, I think they pull it out. And it's in Washington. They had a big win against Carolina last week. I'm going to go with the Washington football team.
All right. I also hate picking this game because I'm waiting for Russ to get right. And I thought that it may be last week against Arizona, but they just laid an egg. Russ looked absolutely terrible in back-to-back weeks here. With that said, they have some of the best cornerback wide receiver matchups against Washington this week, according to Pro Football Focus. So if there was a week for Russ to get right, it would be this week. Coverage really probably won't be that tight on Lockett and Metcalf. And with no Chase Young, I don't really see Washington getting home against him much. So I am actually going to stick with the bird trend here. and pick Seattle in a get right game for Russ. And Seattle, not that it matters for them because they're done, but they get back on track a little bit here. And it looks like Derek also took Washington.
You do need to make up some ground, so it makes sense.
I mean, just watch. Just watch. Just wait.
All right, I'll wait.
That Miami pick, that Cincy pick, both trash. Big trash there.
Okay.
All right. I need to cycle back through the locks because I don't remember who I have available. I picked the Cardinals and the Patriots, so I cannot pick either of those. If you have your lock ready, go ahead and throw it in there. Maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Are you doing it? Oh, Derek did it. He dropped Detroit in as his lock. Oh man, I feel like I have to pick the Bears now so that I can get this Oppo play and win these 5 gifted subs.
So I think this is the toughest week trying to pick a lock, at least for me.
Yeah. Well, I've got mine. I'm gonna do something equally crazy here.
Part of me wants to like go with Atlanta, but oh boy. All right.
I'm gonna lock in the Texans here.
If you guys are doing that, I'm gonna go with. All right. You ready to see this?
What are those zeros? Oh, just ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm doing it. I think the Jets are absolutely just trash, and Tyrod is going to be able to control this game on the ground, and that's all they'll need.
What do you think I'm going with here?
Are you being crazy?
I'm following the trend. I mean, it's not too crazy, but it's definitely picking against you guys.
Then you're picking Miami.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the play. That's the strategy, because you make up 2 games there if we're both wrong and you're right. So
it doesn't work out for me last week. I am 2-0 with my locks, so
it doesn't really hurt you much if you end up getting it wrong. So yeah, those are our week 12 picks and our locks. I cannot believe that Derek locked Detroit. That is absolute insanity, but
I will tell you, if he wasn't going to do it, and I know we could both do it, but I'm going to let him have this one. Let him have it.
I mean, I like it. It's bold. You get to find out right away. It'll set the tone for your whole Thanksgiving if you get your lock right or wrong. So, but yeah, that is week 12 in the books. We'll have this uploaded to YouTube shortly, later tonight. Again, thank you, Bryce / Drizzle, for hanging out, and Derek / Pikadilyy for being in chat and entering his picks even while on vacation. That is dedication to the cause here. So on that note, before we go,
about winning,
we have to talk about this turkey versus ham thing. So you are team turkey, I take it?
Yes. And it's not necessarily for like the cut off the bone part of the turkey. When you sit down for Thanksgiving dinner, it's for the leftovers. You ever have stuffing and shredded up turkey together?
Yeah, but like,
it's so good. So good.
It's just turkey lunch meat. Turkey's a trash bird.
You know what they say.
Turkey is a trash bird. You don't make rum turkey. You make rum ham.
You know how much salt is on ham? In ham?
The correct amount, because it's delicious. That's how much salt is on ham. It is the correct amount. I'll be honest,
I don't have a good, comeback for it, because I like ham too. But this time of year, I can't wait for leftovers for mush. That's what we call it.
The problem with turkey is that there's only one good way to cook it, and it's deep frying it. And so you have to find a deep fryer, and if anybody's got like big families and trying to do like a 25-pound turkey in a deep fryer, Like you just have to find a deep fryer that's big enough, which probably isn't the easiest thing. And it's like super unsafe because if it tips over, you just like burn your house down. So,
Yeah.
but that is like the only way to do turkey. When I was growing up, we used to do deep fried turkeys, and like it makes the white meat like super moist and juicy. But just from like a taste factor and like what the multitude of things you can do with ham, ham is the superior meat. And like,
Well,
give me ham for
that is an
Thanksgiving,
issue.
ham for Christmas. Give me all the ham.
Well, that is the issue. If you overcook the turkey, then it's hard to chew, and I can see it. I get it.
If you overcook the ham, you just have bacon,
Right.
right? You just have a big
not
ball,
necessarily, but
big
sure.
bacon ball. Also, what are your thoughts on the cranberry? Are you it has to be like artisan handcrafted cranberry, or are you trying to get that shit out of the can?
I actually only recently got into using cranberry on Thanksgiving. I used to not be a big fan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So right now I don't have a good answer for you, but whatever's there, I'm gonna eat.
I don't really have a horse in this race. I don't really like either, to be honest. I've just been asking everybody that I can ask if they're canned cranberry or fancy cranberry. And I've actually gotten more responses of canned cranberry than the fancy homemade cranberry, which makes sense because that artificial stuff probably better. Not better for you, but just better tasting.
Yeah.
Last question. Stuffing, yes or no?
Well, I think you could tell by me with stuffing in the turkey. Yes.
Stuffing,
absolutely.
yes. Derek says stuffing, yes. I am stuffing, yes, but not when it's cooked in the turkey. It has to be cooked separate.
Yeah. We cook ours separate. I don't necessarily like cooking it with the turkey.
Yeah, it gets too like mushy, and I don't like that like wet bread taste.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, separate stuffing though, like stuffing balls. Oh my god, stuffing balls are so good.
Oh my god, I can't wait now.
Yeah.
Till tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I'm gonna eat my weight. Unfortunately, I believe in turkey, but I don't have a choice in the meats. But yeah. Yeah. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Thanks everybody for hanging out again. This was week 12. Like I said, it'll be on the YouTube later tonight. And we will catch y'all guys later. See ya.
Peace out.